Also today, for the very first time, we're now getting detailed testimony about the mental state of the mom accused of murdering her 3 small kids from doctors who saw her after the killings happened. Watch.
She's in good hands at the moment, but there's always a concern that sits directly below the surface. She really loves them and misses them and thinks of them every single day, almost every moment of the day.
The man you heard from there is a psychologist who met with Lindsay Clancy multiple times after the killings in 2023. He testified that, in his opinion, Clancy had bipolar disorder with postpartum psychosis when it happened. You see Clancy in court today. She was seen shaking her head at one point as one of the prosecutors read medical records indicating she didn't show signs of distress on the days of her children's birthdays after the killings. Remember, Clancy has admitted to killing her children. This trial is about whether she should be held criminally responsible. Her attorney has said she's still dealing with significant suicidal ideation. And even if the jury in this trial finds her not guilty, she'd still be sent to a state mental health facility after the trial. Sue O'Connell has been following this one for us, a courtroom insider for NBC Boston. Sue, good to see you again. Some of the testimony today felt like it was a direct response to what we had heard earlier in the trial. Evidence prosecutors had brought up about Clancy basically going about her regular routine, doing kind of normal things on the day that she killed her kids.
That's right. And what Paul Zeisel brought was a full package of everything the jurors had heard before, and also his experience with Lindsay Clancy after the killings, as he has seen her over 45 times at least and has been in the court actually almost every day during this trial. And his testimony focuses on this issue that the prosecution keeps putting forward, that Lindsay Clancy couldn't possibly have been mentally ill or having psychosis if she was taking her daughter to the pediatrician, if she was planning these ordinary, everyday things that people do. And what he pushed back on is that psychotic symptoms exist on a continuum. You can hear fewer voices one day, more voices the next, but this matters just because if you look normal doesn't mean you're not suffering. Of course, as you mentioned, the prosecution pushed back by showing Lindsay Clancy's behavior at the hospital she's at now on the days that would have been her children's birthdays, showing that she had no mental problems or psychiatric issues on those days. So that's what the jury was left with today. Hallie?
The prosecution was also on cross going after this witness on the assessment of Clancy's treatment here, because they say she wasn't actually trying to get help. Here's what he said.
Help is in the eye of the beholder. If she felt she didn't get help, that's how she felt.
Could this be a significant moment? I mean, given that the central question here is whether or not Clancy sort of premeditated this, whether she planned it, whether she was in postpartum psychosis when the killings happened or not, how do you think the jury is going to weigh the testimony from the psychologist?
Well, I'll tell you that it's kind of hard to assess the prosecution at this point because they're really grasping at straws. We have heard from their own witnesses how much Lindsay Clancy reached out for help, and they're picking on one small thing, that she declined inpatient opportunity on December 2022 because her daughter's birthday was coming up and she wasn't sure that she would be out in time. So they're picking one small thread out of a mountain of evidence that she was seeking help and she was refused help on a number of times. So again, this psychologist, the psychiatrist, able to say, I've seen her 45 times. I reviewed all of these documents, and that's an argument that I don't think the prosecution is going to really be able to make.
And really quick, Sue, just because you're talking about the prosecution here, I wonder what you make of, because this is getting, I think, a lot of attention too. Obviously, this case is in such a spotlight, online, in the real world, et cetera. But of the prosecution and the defense and the sort of vibes in the courtroom as this case has gone on. I mean, it's obviously, they are in conflict, and it feels like you're seeing some of that in court.
Yes, I mean, they're definitely heating up now. The past few days, we've had a lot of conflict between the prosecution and defense, and also with the witnesses. Remember, the defense is the case in chief right now. They're presenting their case. I think it's clear the prosecution is on their back foot, and they're a little testy about things. There's no doubt about that. So there is definitely conflict in the room. But Kevin Reddington is definitely a man who seems upbeat, and even though he might have a little pushback with them, he does continue to present a warm and friendly demeanor in the courtroom, which is in stark contrast to the prosecutors who are fighting, for these 3 babies that were killed. So it's a very odd trial, I'll tell you that.
Wow. Sue O'Connell, I know you've been in court. You're coming to us after court today. Thank you so much, Sue. We're always glad to have you walking us through
You're
this
welcome.
case. Of course, if you or somebody you know is struggling or in emotional distress, there is help. Text 988 or text HOME to the crisis text line at 741-741.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.